Hi there, my name is John, and I'm coming to you from IMPMOOC, British Columbia in Canada, and today I will be demonstrating how to use the Sonitus FX compressor plugin in Sonar 8 Producer Edition. I will cover an overview of the interface, how to adjust the threshold, ratio, attack, and release, and I will show you some of the additional functions available in this plugin. Here is the Sonitus compressor interface, which opens up when you add the plugin to a track. This is the main panel, which includes both controls to adjust parameters and meters and displays to give us visual feedback on what the compressor is doing. The Sonitus compressor provides generally intuitive controls for all the major parameters, the threshold, ratio, attack, and release, as well as some additional parameters, including the knee, compressor type, the output gain, look ahead, and TCR, which stands for Transient Controlled Release. Meters and displays on the interface include the input meter with input peaks, the transfer function, the gain reduction meter, the output meter, and the overload LEDs. I'm not going to say much about the top functions or the toolbar, but I will point out that the Help button allows you instant access to the user manual right within the DAW. There are a number of ways to edit parameter values in this compressor. Some of the parameters, including the threshold, gain, attack, and release, all have dedicated sliders. All of the parameters have a small box containing the current value of the parameter. Double-clicking this box allows you to manually type in a value. Also, you can click and drag up or down on these boxes to increase or decrease the value. For this lesson, I will be using a raw guitar sound I recorded directly into my audio interface to illustrate the differences between the settings. But in the end, I will play you the full song with some additional guitar effects because it will sound better. So to start, let's hear the solo guitar track uncompressed and unaffected. I set the threshold at minus 19.6 decibels because the overall recording was quite low and the way I played the guitar was quite muted. Below 19.6 the compressor will have no effect. Above, it will compress at a ratio of 7.1 to 1. For every 7.1 decibels louder the input signal is, the output level will only be 1 decibel louder. I wanted to leave a bit of the punchiness in the sound, so I wanted some of the transients, the initial part of the sound, to come through. This is governed by the attack, which I set at 12.6 milliseconds. I also kept the release fairly low to avoid any pumping sound when the compressed input dropped back below the threshold. Keeping an eye on the output to ensure the output didn't go into the red, I was able to set the output gain at 3.6 decibels, a 3.6 decibel boost. A slightly softened knee of 3 decibels prevented any sudden lurches in the sound as the input level moved away from the threshold value. When listening to this compressed version of the guitar, pay attention to the gain reduction meter. This meter shows when the compressor is kicking in and how much of an effect it is having on the overall volume. Also note the little white circle in the transfer function. This is representative of the effect of the compressor on the signal, showing the input level traveling along the transfer curve. Let's have a listen. I went back through my two videos and found the lowest and highest output signals for the tracks to see what impact the compressor had on the dynamic range. The uncompressed track ranged from minus 21 to about minus 5.8 decibels. In comparison, the compressed track ranged from about minus 19 to minus 7 decibels. As you can see, the compressor has a very real effect on the volume, even if it is hard to notice.